this land and people may be well and truly served, and their good grant us a vision of our country, fair as it might be, of righteousness, where none shall wrong his neighbor, a country plenty, where evil and poverty shall be done away with, a country of brotherhood, where all success shall be founded on service, and honor shall be given to the deserving, a country of peace, where government shall rest on the will of the people and the love for the common good. Bless the efforts of those who struggle to make this vision a living reality. Inspire and strengthen our people, that they may give time, thought, and sacrifice to speed the day of the coming beauty of Ghana and Africa. Amen. Honorable members, I shall take a roll call of members. And so I proceed to call upon the clerks at the table to call out your names. On this matter. And so we are being guided by the Standing Order 14. You may begin now.
Abdul Aziz Fataya. Abdul Latif Dan. Ablakwa Samuel Okujeto. Abuaji George Kwame. Achampon Brian. Achampon Richard. Akwa Alexander Kwesi. Adam Hamza. Adam Mohammed Amin. Adams Abdul Salam. Adams Kofi Idi. Adams Mishabu Mahama. Adu Ebenezer Kweku. Adu Kweku. Adu Yao Frimpong. Adu Frimpong Anampa Kwame. Adu Kenne Daniel Nana. Adi Frederick. Ejay Felicia. Adumako Ernest. Adumako Mensa Collins. Adongo Isaac. Edu Jack John Kwame. Edu Chumiao Osei. Afenyo Sedem Kweku. Afenyo Markin Alexander Kwame na Osahin. Aful Eric. Aful Kofi Bente. Efriye Nana Yu. Efriye Frank. Agalga James. Agwana Eric Edem. Agwana Fred Kwesi. Agweve Charles Akwesi. Agboja Kwame Govins. Ejari Alexander. Ejekum Emmanuel Kwejo. Ajimai Kingsley. Ajimai Prempe Eric Nana. Ajimai Rollins Zaneto. Ajin Sam Lawrence. Ahinkwa Frederick Yao. Ahi Samson. Ahiafo Bernard. Eju Michael Kwesi. Akando Kwabna Minta. Akanvari Balidia Lamisi. Akrugu Faustine Eliklim. Alajo Said Al Hassan. Al-Hassan Abdul Fatau. Al-Hassan Suini Shaibu. Al-Hassan Sulemana. Amadou Tanko Mustafa. Amankwa Millicent Yabua. Amankwa Nicholas. Amankwa Menu Kofi. Amwa Stephen. Amwaku Andre Siama. Amwaku Jampa Rudolph. Ampa Bentremi Simon. Ampim Thomas Nyako. Ampofu Kwame Chumesi. Amprechun Sapon Kweku. Annaba Thomas Winsome. Enim Ernest Yao. Ankuma Emilia. Anodompre Frank. Anyimedu Entry Kwame. Apak Clement Abbas. Apieje Patricia. Ahen Ebenezer Prince. Ama Blade Nyamike. Arthur Emilia. Asamoah Vincent Topon. Asamoah Fred Che. Asante Lorette Koko. Asante Boating Kweku. Asensu Boachi Francis. Ashi Alfred Nikote. Esiedu Charles. Esiedu Aida Ajwa. Asafwa Vincent Teko. Ata Isa. Ata Mills Samuel. Albany Rabna. Awego Simon Akibangi. Awuku Samuel. Awuni Theresa Ladi. Ayamba Ladi Ayi. Ayarga Mahama. Aye Nana Safweje. Ayen Sudan Kwa Grace. Ayuku Benjamin Nate. Ayene Dominica Kritenga. Azuma Joseph. Bafwe Wana Neje. Bande Mabednego Lamanjin. Bataglia Mohammed Isa. Bawajua Charles. Bedra Emmanuel Kwesi. Bequin Frank Esiedu. Benzel Godfred Henry. Bese Daniel Keshi. Be your titles Kofi. Bisil Mavis Kukwa. Boaku Gideon. Boachi Yadom Patrick. Boam Emmanuel Kweku. Boama Patrick Yao. Boama Nyako Isaac. Boatin Joseph Apia. Boatin Kwabna. Brahim Abawa Mohammed. Breful Bright Asamoah. Boa Emmanuel Amakofi. Backman Fifi Philip. Bukari Joseph Nipe. Chiwete Andrew Dari. Kujo Comfort Doyo. Kujo Robert Wisdom. Dafia Mako Roxanne Nelson Eche Kwame. Damwa Kwejo. Dangbe Ernestina Ofori. Dapila Kletu Seiju. Dako John. Dako Mensa Kwabnotre. Dauda Collins. De Sebastian Fred. Jabab Nelson Kofi. Jobazi Dorani Godwin Animli. Joa Emmanuel. Dumelo John Seto. Jiwonu Laurentia. Enu James. For Trineboa Kodia. For George John Intim. For Madi Jean Marie. For St. Cartel Atoba. For St. Charles. Frimpong Joseph. Frimpong Ohene Kwame. Frimpong Owen Kwame. Gakpe Kwame Jujoli. George Samuel Nate. Gans Al Hassan Kobna. Goma Doyao. Goma Shijifa Abla. Jan Kujo Joanna. Jan Mensa Richard. Jechi Nasira Afra. Haruna Seidu. Hotoje Alexander Roosevelt. Ibrahim Ahmed. Ibrahima Zuria Mohammed. Idrisu Habib. Idrisu Haruna. Isifu Mahmoud. Jaja Yusuf Isaka. Jasol Godfrey Seidu. Jinapo John Abdullahi. Jinapo Samuel Abdullahi. Kini Jeffrey. Kodia Kwame Apia. Kunedwa Kwesi. Kosa Martin Kwekwe J. Mensam. Peli Walasi. Potosu Richard Edem Kofi. Kuma Joseph Kwame. Kuri Richard. Kuyon Solomon. Kwenu Othniel Eko. Kwatin Kwekwa Jiman. Che Shirley. Tredia Dixon. Labi Oscar Ofori. Lati Agnes Namomo. Lukuto Maxwell Kwame. Muhammad Daniel Dang. Muhammad Nasil Ture. Muhammad Shaibu. Muhammad Tia Abdul Karibu. Mafu Kofia Henkra. Mensa Isaac J. Mensa Joseph Kwesi. Mijima Nurin Shaibu. Mia Anthony. Muhammad Sharif Abdul Khalid. Muhammad Haruna. Muhammad Yakubu. Mubarak Said. Mumuni Al Hassan. Mumuni Nuruddin Muhammad. Muntaka Muhammad Mubarak. Nandaya Stanley Yao. Nanja Sanja. Napari Dominic. Nawani Mark Kurt. Indebila Ebenezer Alumiri. Nichi Mabila Alamzi. Niti Dominic Benga Maduna. In Kansabwe Du Mavis. In Kroma Kojo Opon. Nukwa Pius Kwame. Nokwe Kofi Ako. Nogbe Ernest Henry. Notuko Toe Peter Kwesi. Intekuni Emmanuel Kofi. Intim Adelaide. Intosu Helen Ajwa. Nyakote Albert Tete. Nyaku Bismarck Tete. Nyaku Kingsley. Nyaku Kwamina Minta. Nyinda Matthew. Obin Kwame Asare. Obri Yabua Kofi. Oklu Linda Ohinewa Kwele. Odampton Isaac Asher. Oforiata Duke William Allen Kwame Amwakwata. Ofosu Felix Kwache. Ofosu Jari Elizabeth. Oakley Felix Akwete. Okuno Phyllis Nakoyo. Ochre Michael Belfi. Onyina Champon Akwesi Jemfi. Opoku Davis Ansa. Opoku Eric. Opoku Isaac Yao. Osai Mensa Dapa Elvis. Osai Kennedy Nyako. Osai J Nana. Osai Akoto Seth. Osai Sari Abna. Oti John Kwabna Bless. Oredu Charles Esuako. Owusu Gloria. Owusua Rachel Amma. Owusu Chia Francis Kwabna Brimpon. Peito Desmond de Graft. Pelpo Abdul Rashid Hassan. Pokwe Dusei Ralph. Kwashi Joycelyn. Kweisin James Jechi. Ramadan Mohammed Adamu. Ricketts Hagan George Kweku. Salam Damata Ama Pienima. Sandari Sebastian Meneso. Soya Queen Samami Pokua. Sefer Richard Kwame. Shaib Jerry Ahmed. Sosu Francis Xavier Kojo. Sowa Rita Nao Dole. Suparu Mohammed Adams. Suleiman Adama. Suleimana Al Hassan Tampli. Suleimana Yusuf. Suma Anthony Nkwikara. Taylor Isa Salifu. Taylor Abi Ebenezer Oklite. Tete Agbotri Gisela Kushika. Tete Joseph Akwete. Tobin Emmanuel. Tofi Dockers. Tobu Peter Lanshini. Chekpo Thomas Wolanyo. Tubazu Abdul Rauf Tonjem. Umar Al Hassan. Yusuf Mustafa. Vandapoy Alfred Oko. Vondi David Theophilus Dominic. William Intebe Ayo. Yabua Frank. Yibo Isaac Awuku. Zidin Bid and Watazumo.
Honorable members, I have received from the Electoral Commission the writ of elections on the by-election held at Akwatia constituency on 2nd September 2025 and of Tamale Central held on 23rd September 2025. I shall now proceed to read the communication. The first is dated 4th September 2025, reads, Dear Sir, submission of writ of election for the Akwatia parliamentary by-election held on 2nd September 2025. I bring you greetings from the Electoral Commission and trust that this letter finds you well. Please find attached the writ of election for the Akwatia parliamentary by-election held on Tuesday, 2nd September 2025 in the Akwatia constituency. Thank you. Yours faithfully, Mrs. Jane Mensah, Chairperson. The writ attached, as you all know, is a form of writ for public elections under Regulations 2020 CI 127, Form 1A. It reads, writ of election to a returning officer for the Akwatia constituency, whereas elections are to be held for the election of a member of parliament, whereas there exists a vacancy in the membership of parliament for the Akwatia constituency, now therefore, I do hereby command that you cause the election of a member of parliament to be held according to law for the said constituency, and that you do certify on this writ the name of the person elected. I do hereby direct that the nomination shall take place from the 11th day of August to the 13th day of August at the EC office, Akwatia, and that the poll shall be taken, if necessary, on the day indicated. Chairperson, Electoral Commission, signed. The certificate of endorsement. Certificate to be endorsed on writ. I hereby certify that the member of parliament elected for the Akwatia constituency in pursuance of the writ is Bernard Bediako Beidu, and the number of votes cast in respect of each of the candidates at the election is as follows. Candidates: Asumadu Suleiman, 15,285 votes. Bernard Bediako Beidu, 18,199 votes. Owusu Patrick, 32 votes. This is dated 2nd August 2025. And the returning officer is Eric Owusu Jemfi. My attention has been drawn that I said August. Sorry, it's 2nd September 2025. For the Tamale Central elections, the communication from the Electoral Commission is dated 24th September 2025, and it reads, the submission of writ of election for the Tamale Central parliamentary by-election. I bring you greetings from the Electoral Commission, and I trust that this letter finds you well. Pursuant to Regulation 12 and 43(2)(a) and B of the Public Elections Regulations 2020 CI 127, the Electoral Commission hereby informs you that Alidu Seidu Mahama, the parliamentary candidate for the National Democratic Congress, NDC, for the Tamale Central by-election, has been elected unopposed. Please find attached the writ of election for the Tamale Central parliamentary by-election. Thank you. Yours faithfully, Mrs. Jane Mensah, Chairperson. The writ of election reads, to the returning officer for the Tamale Central constituency, whereas elections are to be held for the election of a member of parliament, And whereas there exists a vacancy in the membership of Parliament for the Tamale Central constituency, now therefore, I do hereby command that you cause the election of a member of Parliament to be held according to law for the said constituency, and that you do certify on this writ the name of the person elected. I do hereby direct that the nomination shall take place from the 8th day of September 2025 to the 10th day of September at Tamale Metro EC office, and that the poll shall be taken, if necessary, on the 30th day of September 2025. Signed, Chairperson, Electoral Commission. And the certificate endorsed says, I hereby certify that the member of Parliament elected for the Tamale Central constituency in pursuance of this writ is Alidu Seydou Mahama. And the number of votes cast in respect of each of the candidates at the election is as follows. Alidu Seydou Mahama, unopposed. Dated 23 September 2025. Signed, Muniru Musa, returning officer. Honorable members, in accordance with Article 100 of the 1992 Constitution and Order 13.1 of the Standing Orders of Parliament, I shall now proceed to administer the oaths. As you all know, a member of Parliament elect may swear on the Bible, the crucifix, or the Quran. Alternatively, a member elect may make and subscribe to a solemn affirmation. Honorable members, pursuant to Order 13.1 of the Standing Orders, I shall now invite the honorable member-elect for the Aquatere constituency and Tamale Central constituency to proceed to the Speaker's dais to take the oath of allegiance and the oath of a member of Parliament. I will commence with the oath of allegiance. Honorable members, your choice, please.
Quran.
Bible.
Quran.
Bible.
Bible. You all know the drill very well, but just remind you, you repeat after me. The oath of allegiance. I,
Seydou Mahama Alidu, do in the name of the Almighty God swear
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Republic of Ghana,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Republic of Ghana,
as by law established, that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of Ghana,
that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of Ghana,
and that I will preserve,
protect,
and defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana.
and defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana.
So help me God.
So help me God.
We now take the oath of a member of Parliament. I,
Seydou Mahama Alidu,
having been elected a member of parliament, do,
having been elected of a member of parliament, do,
in the name of the Almighty God, swear
in the name of the Almighty God, swear
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Republic of Ghana,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Republic of Ghana,
as by law established,
as by law established,
that I will uphold,
that I will uphold,
preserve,
protect,
and defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana,
and defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
and conscientiously discharge the duties of a member of parliament.
discharge the duties of a member of parliament.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Honorable members, thank you for taking the oath. You are most welcome. And I'll hold you to two oaths that you've sworn, particularly the one where you clearly stated that you faithfully and conscientiously discharge the duties of a member of parliament. To enable you to discharge those duties, I will first give you the hoe and the cutlass. You don't go to your farm without the hoe or the cutlass. And so on a daily basis, I observe members when they walk in. Please, even though I'm 33 years here, on a daily basis, I still refer to the Constitution and the standing orders. There's always something to learn every day. And so I'm going to hand this over to you. There are other documents that the clerk's office will make available to you. And please, if you really want to perform your duties well, you have to put them and sleep with them. There's a lot that you have to learn. Whether you are a professor, or you are a farmer, or you are from anywhere, you have come to a new school. And that school starts from crèche. And you are starting from crèche today. Please don't assume that because of your capacity in other areas, you know it. You don't know it. You have to start learning. Please. Your seniors will do the usual thing. You've all been to school, and you've all passed through to the university, you've gone through. You know what seniors do to juniors. Don't be deterred and intimidated. You can perform better than them. Please. But at least, for the respect, the reverence, you have to give it to them, because they were born before you. And so, on behalf of the House and the members, I hand over this first to the Member of Parliament for the Akwatia constituency. And second, to the Member of Parliament for Tamale Central.
We can come, okay.
Honorable members, Honorable members, on your behalf, I warmly welcome the two freshest members of Parliament to our midst. And we are happy now to have the full complement of the House. We now have 276 members of Parliament. Please, the number is no longer 275. We have 276. And anytime the number increases, we have to create space for the member. So please, it's a plea that before this number increases, you must, as a country, as a republic, start looking for a proper place. If not, the integrity of this structure is being undermined. A word to the wise is enough. By our standing orders, we now move to item 4, which is National Pledge. All of you, I'll listen to you delivering your pledges to the nation, not one by one. You do it together. You do it together, please. Let's be on our feet. Honorable members, I promise on my honor Thank you so much. Please, you may resume your seats. I believe that this is also a strong message to all Ghanaians, particularly our gallant Black Stars. Every Ghanaian must learn how to recite the National Pledge, and at the appropriate time, recite it with joy. You have to. Please, don't be mumbling. It's a very short one, very easy to recite. I have a few messages from His Excellency the President. Some I'll read, others I'll call on the Office of the Official Report to capture them verbatim as they have been presented to this House. The one I will read deals with the nomination of the Chief Justice. The letter is dated 7th October 2025, and it reads, Right Honorable Speaker, nomination of Chief Justice. Following consultations with the Council of State, conveyed by its letter dated 14th October 2025, and in accordance with Article 144, Clause 1 of the 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, I have the honor to respectfully submit for the approval of Parliament the nomination of Justice Paul Bafubone as Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana. Justice Bafubone has distinguished himself through unwavering integrity, sound judicial temperament, and a deep commitment to the rule of law. His long and meritorious service on the Supreme Court has been characterized by professionalism, fairness, and a passion for justice. He possesses the necessary leadership, administrative competence, and vision to advance ongoing reforms within Ghana's justice system and to further strengthen public confidence in the judiciary. Attached are the nominees' curriculum vitae and supporting documents to facilitate the vetting process. I trust that Parliament will expedite the approval process in accordance with constitutional requirements. Please accept, Mr. Speaker, the assurances of my highest regard. John Dramani Mahama, signed. Honorable members, I accordingly proceed to refer the said nomination to the appropriate committee, and that is the Appointments Committee, to do the public hearing and submit a report to the House for consideration. As you know by our rules, other members of Parliament are permitted to attend the sittings of the committee, in fact, all committees. It's just that you don't have the right of vote, but you can attend to assist your colleagues. We trust that this will be done in accordance with the laws of this country. And at the end of the day, please, we'll give you ample time for us to assist His Excellency to make sure that the confidence in the arms of government are restored and enhanced. The nominee is accordingly referred to the Appointments Committee for consideration and report to the House. There are two more that I have to read. One deals with the demise of our compatriots. And so we've been given notice of it. The letter is dated 7th August 2025, and it reads, Right Honorable Speaker, notice of demise. It is with profound sorrow and a heavy heart that I write to inform you formally and the Honorable House of the tragic loss of two distinguished ministers of state. One, Honorable Dr. Edward Omani-Boama, Minister for Defense. And two, Honorable Dr. Mohammed Mutala, Minister for Environment, Science and Technology. These two exemplary public servants, whose contributions to national duty were marked by diligence, patriotism, and an abiding commitment to the public good, sadly lost their lives in a fatal helicopter crash on the 6th of August 2025. We are also deeply grieved to report additional casualties. 1. Alhaji Muniru Mohammed. 2. Dr. Samuel Sapon. 3. Mr. Samuel Abuaje. 4. Squadron Leader Peter Bafemi Anala. 5. Flying Officer Chum Ampadu. And 6. Sergeant N.S. Ado. Please accept, Right Honorable Speaker, the assurances of my highest consideration. Signed, John Dramani Mahama. Honorable members, I think it's proper for us to stand in honor to give our departed compatriots 1 minute silence. May their souls and the souls of all the faithfully departed rest in perfect peace. Amen. Honorable members, as a result of the sudden departure in such a horrific manner of our 2 ministers of state, His Excellency has proceeded to designate caretaker ministers. The letter to me is dated 7th August 2025, and it reads, Right Honorable Speaker, designation of caretaker ministers. Following the tragic demise of the Honorable Minister for Defense and the Honorable Minister for Environment, Science and Technology, I wish to respectfully notify Parliament through your esteemed office of interim ministerial arrangements pending the appointment of substantive ministers. In accordance with the constitutional responsibility to ensure the continuous and effective administration of government, I have designated the following officials to serve in the caretaker capacity. 1. Dr. Kasiel Atuba Forson, MP, Minister for Finance, will additionally serve as caretaker Minister for Defense. And 2, Honorable Emmanuel Ama Kofi Bua, Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, will assume additional responsibility as caretaker Minister for Environment, Science and Technology. Please accept, Right Honorable Speaker, the renewed assurances of my highest consideration. Signed, John Dramani Mahama. The rest of the other letters, the communication from His Excellency, deals with absence from Ghana. And there are a number of them. And I will, on your behalf, refer them to the Office of the Official Reporting to capture them verbatim in our proceedings as having been read to the House. Please, with your kind permission, I do so now. They are accordingly referred to the Hansard office. In view of the nature of business before the House, item 6 will just be to warmly welcome you all to the third meeting of the first session of the 9th Parliament of the 4th Republic of Ghana. I'm happy you took the recess seriously, and from the reports I have, many of you interacted with your constituents on whose behalf you are here. I'm informed that you shared information with them on the work of Parliament, and you received a lot of inputs from your constituents. Committees also took advantage to visit a number of places, particularly government agencies and projects, to play their oversight role. There were a number of delegations to represent Ghana outside, particularly as now they place a lot of emphasis on parliamentary diplomacy. It's becoming a function, not just a duty, a function of parliaments in the world, parliamentary diplomacy. Apart from that, a lot of you also took time to benchmark, learn from other jurisdictions so that we could adopt and adapt what is suitable to our situation in Ghana, and you equally shared what we have there with our brothers and sisters all over the world. We will deal with them in detail later on. My duty is just to welcome you, and you are to expect the agenda of this meeting from the clerk to Parliament. You'll be given copies. We haven't finalized it because leadership are still in discussion with the government so that we could get total government business for this meeting. For parliamentary business, we have what we have to do for this third meeting. And some of you are also submitting private businesses, which are all part of the business of the House. So we've not firmed it up yet until leaders, together with the ministers, come out with a position, which by a procedure, the Speaker has to admit before it's referred to the clerk, who will put it before the business committee for them to schedule weekly for our attention. So please, you are warmly welcome, and I'll proceed now to give opportunity to your leaders. If they have some words, they will share with us before we get to the next item. And I'll do so by starting with the minority leader. Please, minority leader, you have some time to say a few words of welcome to your colleagues from the recess. We say recess. They recede from plenary session to engage in the other functions of the House outside plenary session. So they don't go, members of parliament don't go on holidays or vacation. They recede to continue to do the work of member of parliament. I think it's something that we have to consider, because the Labour Act expects that you should also have some leave. Some leave is done all over the world. Members of parliament have leave so that you can rest. Those of us who have sacrificed all these years, we know how our families have been destroyed, because you never have time for your family. You never have time for people dear to your heart, the people that you grew with, and sometimes they don't spare you. Please, let's think over it, discuss with our neighbors outside the parliament, and at least get a few days to have some breathing space, if not to rest, but to share love with your immediate family members. With this, Honorable Minority Leader, you may proceed to make your comments.
Mr. Speaker, let me thank you for the opportunity to make my remarks as we reconvene for the third meeting of the first session of the 9th Parliament. Mr. Speaker, I begin by warmly welcoming your good self, your deputies, honorable colleagues in leadership, and all members of this House back to our legislative duties. I also extend this welcome to the Clerk to Parliament and his deputies, the dedicated staff of parliamentary service, and members of the Parliamentary Press Corps, whose support remains invaluable to the work we do. Mr. Speaker, during the recess, we were struck with sorrow with the passing of 8 distinguished citizens who served Ghana with dedication and honor. We mourn our respected colleague, Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed, Member of Parliament for Tamale Central, and Minister for Environment, Science and Technology and Innovation. We also remember Dr. Edward Omani-Boama, Minister for Defense, Alhaji Muniru Mohammed, Acting Deputy National Security Coordinator, the Deputy Dr. Samuel Sapon, Vice Chairman of National Democratic Congress, and Samuel Abuaje, former parliamentary candidate, Squadron Leader Peter Bafami Anala, Flying Officer Manin Chum Ampedu, and Sergeant Ernest Adu Mensah. Mr. Speaker, the minority extends its deepest condolences to their families, loved ones, and all who mourn their loss. May their soul rest in perfect peace. Even as we are inspired by their dedicated service to recommit to public service with dignity, courage, and honor. Mr. Speaker, we have today also welcomed 2 new members of Parliament, a member for Akwitia and Tamale Central. Their arrival is a solemn reminder of both the grief we share and the hope we carry for renewed service. Mr. Speaker, the state of our nation's governance presents a mix of trials and opportunities, from economic hardship on the home front to unsettling development on the international stage. These past months have indeed tested our resilience as a country. Mr. Speaker, Ghanaians remain concerned about the economy. While recent indicators show modest macroeconomic gains, these are yet to bring real relief to the ordinary citizen. The truth is, stabilization means little if the youth remain unemployed, and families still struggle with the cost of living. The mass dismissals across key state institutions represent a direct assault on the integrity of public service. Competent officers who were employed have been sacked from office under directives from the Chief of Staff. These dismissals were carried out without due process, without cause, and in clear violation of constitutional and statutory provisions. These are politically motivated acts that undermine professionalism, weaken state institutions, and erode public confidence in governance. The recent labor unrest whilst we were on break shows a clear public discontent. Over 200 junior doctors have worked for 10 months without pay, and more than 800 remain unposted. Newly trained teachers and nurses have also gone months without salaries. These are the stories of hardship people face. A government that fails to pay its frontline workers cannot claim to care for its people. Mr. Speaker, it must be emphasized that the MPP government, whilst in office, initiated the 1D1F. This was conceived as a vehicle to drive industrial growth and create sustainable jobs through private sector participation. However, government actions in recent months show a clear lack of commitment to that vision. Instead of providing real support to existing private sector jobs and easing the cost of doing business, bureaucracies are being created, frustrating investors and entrepreneurs. This stifles innovation, discourages productivity, and risks choking the public sector with inefficiencies that private sector was meant to relieve. But, Mr. Speaker, no economy can grow when private sector initiative is replaced with political control. The time has come for government to walk the talk of ensuring that the private sector becomes the real engine of growth. Enough of the rhetorics. The 24-hour economy must not be an empty talk. It must provide a hope for many youths who expect jobs. Mr. Speaker, on the governance front, governance is about upholding freedom, justice, and the rule of law. The frequent arrests of opposition figures, journalists, and ordinary citizens on flimsy and politically motivated charges exemplify a pattern of harassment intended to silence dissent. They paint a troubling picture of a shrinking civic space in our democracy. Even more disturbing, young Ghanaians expressing frustration on social media have been targeted, questioned, and in some cases detained. The question we ask as a minority is this the reset we were promised or an era of regression into intolerance? Mr. Speaker, the case of David Afu-Kojo-Pra, a young man known on social media as Kwame Nkrumah #2, highlights the disturbing double standards in how justice is applied. After a live stream on social media, he was swiftly arrested, prosecuted, and sentenced to 7 months in prison. Much as the law must be applied, we must ask, is the state equally swift when government-affiliated individuals commit similar or worse infractions? Not long ago, this incident, not long before this incident, during the Akwatia by-election, the NDC National Vice Chairman, Sofo Azoka, openly declared that there will be by-election in my constituency. That was a threat, plain and simple. Unlike in the case of Kwame Nkrumah II, the police have not taken action. Mr. Speaker, why is there no urgency on this matter? Why the speed in one case and silence in another? Justice must be seen to be done. Justice cannot be harsh on critics and lenient on those who are closer to power. The broader context deepens our concern. Mr. Speaker, on the 8th of September, the Bono Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Mr. Kwame Bafo Abronye, popularly known as Abronye DC, was arrested and detained on charges that appear politically motivated. The court ruling in this case raises deeper constitutional questions. In delivering judgment, the presiding judge, His Lordship Aqua, cited George Orwell's Animal Farm, observing that, quote, all men are equal, but some are more equal than others, unquote. And went on to quote the late President Robert Mugabe, purportedly, quote, I can assure you of freedom of speech, but cannot assure you of freedom after speech, end quote. Mr. Speaker, these remarks to us as the minority, coming from the bench, convey an unsettling message that equality before the law and freedom of expression may no longer be treated as fundamental rights, but as privileges subject to interpretation and power. Such reasoning, if left unchecked, sets a worrying precedent for democratic governance and judicial independence. The use of Orwell and supposed quote from Mugabe to rationalize the restriction of free speech undermines the spirit of our Constitution, which guarantees every citizen the right to express opinion without fear of reprisal. Ghana's courts have long stood as the last line of defense for liberty, and any departure from that role risks eroding public confidence in justice itself. The minority, therefore, finds this trend dangerous and calls for restraint, reflection, and a renewed commitment to fairness, equality, and the true meaning of freedom under the rule of law. Mr. Speaker, the minority registers its unequivocal objection to the removal of the Chief Justice, Mrs. Gertrude Araba Esaba Saki Tokonu. We believe the process lacked transparency, violated constitutional principles, and set a dangerous precedent for judicial interference. 3 separate petitions were referred to the Puaman Committee. The committee only had 1 petition, then adjourned proceedings for continuation on the 15th of September. Yet, without notice to any party in the matter, the committee suddenly submitted a report on the 1st of September, and within 2 hours, an announcement was made of a removal. Was that adjournment a deception, Mr. Speaker? Even more troubling was a warrant of the suspension. It claimed to have made a prima facie determination, but to date, no one has seen such document, and this raises serious constitutional questions. The so-called Puaman report remains a secret document. We, the minority, shall not relent on our demand for a copy and a full disclosure of this report. Mr. Speaker, this matter goes beyond one individual. If this false and irregular process succeeds, it endangers every independent constitutional body. The Auditor General, the Electoral Commission, the National Commission for Civic Education, and even the Public Services Commission could be targeted next under the same Article 146 procedure. The question that must even be asked, that when a person is removed as a Chief Justice, does he or she remain a Justice of the Supreme Court? This will destroy the safeguards of accountability and erase the principle of probity from our governance. If judicial independence can be manipulated in this manner, we should not expect free or credible elections in future. Mr. Speaker, the judiciary is the last line of defense for our democracy, and any act that undermines its independence strikes at the heart of our constitutional order. The minority will resist any attempt to compromise the sanctity of the judiciary. Ghana's institutions must be protected from political manipulation, and we will not sit idly by while dangerous precedents are set. On the issue of illegal mining, we, the minority, are of the view that this represents one of Ghana's gravest governance challenges that has persisted across successive governments and which has escalated into a full-blown national crisis is the menace of illegal mining, popularly known as galamsey. The devastation caused by galamsey to our environment, water bodies, and public health cannot be overstated. Even as we convene today, Mr. Speaker, Our rivers run brown with pollution. Vast tracts of once fertile land lies carried and toxic, and many of our citizens in mining communities face illness and danger from poisonous chemicals. We have talked about illegal mining for years, yet the problem has only grown worse. Time for mere talk is over. We need decisive, visionary action now to save our country's future from disaster. Not long ago, we were warned. One such early warning came in 2010 when investigative journalist Anas Arimayel Anas released a documentary exposing the dark underbelly of Galamsey. That expose, part of the Africa Investigate series, shone a light on the tragic consequences of illegal mining that were already evident back then. The documentary recounted how in June 2010, a Galamsey pit near Dunkwa Onofin flooded, killing an estimated 150 people in a single disaster. It showed the rampant corruption and complicity that allowed Galamsey to flourish, including officials meant to enforce the law taking bribes to look the other way. It highlighted the environmental havoc being unleashed, rivers poisoned with mercury, cyanide and other toxins, local communities suffering flooding and pollution, fishermen and farmers losing their livelihood. Anas's work in 2010 was an early warning alert for our nation. Then again in 2015, Finance Minister Honorable Setekwe again brought this up at the Finance Committee hearing in Parliament when discussing reasons for the declining cocoa production in Ghana. Tragically, Mr. Speaker, those warnings were not heeded with the urgency and seriousness they deserved. Fast forward, today, the nightmare scenario is upon us. Just last month, new study by Pure Earth and Ghana's own EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, revealed terrifying data about toxin levels in mining communities. In some areas, mercury contamination in the soil is 134 times above safe levels, and arsenic concentration are over 4,000% higher than what the WHO deems safe. These poisonous metals are seeping into the water, into food crops, into the very bodies of our people. Doctors are reporting an uptick in children from mining areas developing kidney disorders and even finding mercury pellets in their x-rays. Children, Mr. Speaker, now require dialysis because of the poisonous fruits of Galamsey. Our nation's future is being sickened and stunted. Mr. Speaker, despite being Ghana's top gold producer, the surge in unregulated small-scale mining has created an underground economy that drains national resources and benefits criminal networks. In just 8 months this year, small-scale gold exports surged to over $6.3 billion, according to the CEO of Ghana Gold Board. However, much of this trade is believed to be illicit. The state loses billions in revenue while communities suffer environmental devastation. The minority stands with all Ghanaians, calling for decisive action. We welcome the advocacy from civil society and religious leaders, and we support real solutions from tougher laws to sustainable alternatives. Mr. Speaker, we must also admit that the situation has worsened since this government came into office. At the 2025 May Day celebrations, organized labor, speaking through its Secretary General, confronted this matter with deep disappointment that the Galamsey menace has worsened under the watch of this government, barely 5 months into its administration. TUC's position was again echoed by the acting Chief Justice, Justice Paul Bafuboni, at the GBA conference in Wa, where he also described the crisis as worsening. Mr. Speaker, when labor and the judiciary raise their voices together, we must listen because these are not partisan voices. Mr. Speaker, the time to act is now. If we fail to protect our rivers, land and communities, we risk failing an entire generation. Mr. Speaker, during the recess, a foreign policy development came to light regarding an agreement between the government of Ghana and the United States to accept some deportees. Mr. Speaker, the agreement of such magnitude, in our view, and we respectfully submit, should be subject to the parliamentary scrutiny under Article 75 of the 1992 Constitution. We therefore demand that this arrangement be brought before Parliament for ratification. Ghana's foreign policy must never be conducted in secrecy, nor should we compromise our sovereignty for expediency. We urge the government to always place Ghana's dignity first and ensure that any international agreement reflects our values and command the confidence of the Ghanaian people. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, it is worth emphasizing that Ghana's story is of triumphs achieved through visionary leadership and the indomitable spirit of our people. The New Patriotic Party, during its time in government, championed bold initiatives that delivered tangible progress. We rolled out the free SHS policy, which opened doors for secondary education to youth from all walks of life. We pursued industrialization through 1D, 1F program, establishing 169 new factories nationwide and creating nearly 170,000 jobs for our citizens, constructing over 13,000 kilometers of roads, championing staff, making TVET education free, with all TVET institutions being facelifted. Mr. Speaker, this is the record of the previous government. Under MPP stewardship, Ghana's democracy deepened and economy grew to the extent that the world took notice. We therefore urge this government to walk the talk, and by being bold with policy implementation, enough of the rhetoric of 24-hour economy. We've had one job, 3 shifts. Enough of it. We want the reality to be seen on the streets of Accra. Finally, Mr. Speaker, we cannot afford to lose hope. Our nation has weathered many storms, and each time we have emerged stronger. The minority will continue to be the voice and the shield of the people in this august house. Though we are 87, we assure the people of Ghana that we are firm in our conviction and will be able to hold this supermajority to account. We don't believe in numbers, we believe in substance, and will confront you with substance. Mr. Speaker, we are a proud mighty few. Mr. Speaker, we are a proud mighty few who will speak truth to power and work tirelessly. Mr. Speaker, guided by discipline, hard work, and our faith in God. And Mr. Speaker, and inspired by your own hard work, when your party lost in 2000, you led a charge with fewer numbers, and within a short period, you made progress. We also inspired by what we saw in 2016, said that by 2020, your side had made progress. We believe in that same dream that come 2028, the minority will be the majority. Mr. Speaker, let us all be in President Akufo-Addo's words, be citizens, not spectators. Mr. Speaker, I thank you so much for your kind audience, and I thank colleagues for indulging.
Honorable members, before I invite the majority leader, let me acknowledge the presence of our August visitors. I think they just given an indication some have to move to do other businesses. We have 3 groups of visitors from the following constituencies: Sanerigu, Akwatia, and Tamale. So we have Tamale Senior High School, my alma mater, led by one Chris Avia, who is the board chairman of the school. There are 60 in numbers, 60 of them all the way from Sanerigu. Please, you are welcome. I spent some years in your constituency to educate myself at the Tamale. That time we called it secondary school, not senior high. So we are happy to have you here to see what we do here. Thank you so much for taking the trouble to come down. And I'm sure your student parliament will learn a lot from this and join that so that you grow up with this culture. You are most welcome. Please, you may resume your seats. We have constituents from Akwatia constituency, led by the District Chief Executive, Honorable Umar Ahmed. They are 82 in number. 82 in number. I think they have moved out. They moved out, I'm sure, because after we saw in the MP, they decided to follow the MP. We also have constituents from Tamale Central constituency, led by Hussein Yusuf, who is the secretary to the group. They are 102 in number. You are all welcome to your house. Honorable members, I will now invite the majority leader to give you warm words of welcome.
Right Honorable Speaker Alban Sumana, Kingsford, Bagby, the Honorable Deputy Speakers, Honorable colleague, Members of Parliament, representing the 276 constituencies presently constituting the House, the Clerk of Parliament, and the parliamentary staff. By the grace of the Almighty, we're all here, and you are welcome back to this House for the 3rd meeting of the first session of the 9th Parliament. We have been duly summoned back by our most able Right Honorable Speaker, who remains a pillar of parliamentary democracy in the annals of our democracy's history. We continue to thank you, Mr. Speaker, for your continued defense of the independence and autonomy of this House as a coordinate branch of government. I begin on a very solemn note. We must start by remembering our colleagues who died in that tragic helicopter crash of the 6th of August 2025. The Right Honorable Speaker has already mentioned their names, but suffice it to add that two were particularly close to us. The Honorable Dr. Edward Kofi Omane-Boama, a non-voting member of this House and the then Minister for Defense, and Honorable Alhaji Dr. Murtala Ibrahim, the then Member of Parliament for Tamale Central and Minister for Environment, Science and Technology. The other distinguished Ghanaians who perished in the fatal accident have all been mentioned, and I will urge colleagues to remember them in their prayers. And on behalf of colleagues in this House, let me extend our condolences to the families of the bereaved and urge all of us to support the efforts to maintain their children. A minute of silence has already been observed in remembrance of our colleagues. Let me thank this House for that. Right Honorable Speaker, this loss occasioned a by-election in the Tamale South, and in addition to an earlier loss of our colleague, which also occasioned another by-election in Akwatia. Mr. Speaker, in the two by-elections, the National Democratic Congress, NDC party, won the elections. Mr. Speaker, winning Akwatia about 8 months in office signals the growing popularity of the NDC in government and general public positive rating of the government of the NDC under President John Dramani Mahama. Mr. Speaker, with these two elections and the one that took place in Ablekuma, this House is now fully constituted. The independent members of this House remain 4. The NPP, which previously had a micro minority of 88, has had its number shrink further to 87. Mr. Speaker, I believe they are no longer a micro minority, but a minuscule minority. Mr. Speaker, micro could actually be a large number, because micro is a unit of measurement. 1 million can actually be micro when you are evaluating 1 billion. In English, when you want to describe something as very small, you say minuscule. The NDC supermajority will balloon to 185, and when we add our numbers to the 4 independents who have agreed to do business with us, the NDC will become a gargantuan majority. All I can say is, Mr. Speaker, so far, so excellent. During recess, MPs had the opportunity to observe the impact of work we did during our previous meetings, the budget we approved, the laws we passed, and the policies underpinning them. Our engagements revealed the persistent, urgent need to address youth unemployment. We must ensure that our laws and the policies that we enact create jobs. Ghana's population still remains very young. Citizens aged 15 to 35 make up over 38% of the population and 60% of the labor force. They face enormous barriers to economic inclusion. Indeed, they want jobs. In the 2024 Afrobarometer report of the CDD, concerns about unemployment was the topmost concern of most Ghanaians. This was followed by the management of the economy and then infrastructure. During this meeting of Parliament, members will focus on reviewing job creation policies of the various sectors. We propose to hold a special parliamentary hearing on the extractive industries with a view to exploring the impact on beneficial national economic development, overall benefit to the country, and in particular, the extent to which local content legislation are being enforced to create jobs for Ghanaians and ownership of the extractive industries. Every sector of our economy has a job creation potential, and our debates and deliberations in this meeting will focus on how this Parliament would hold sector heads accountable for ensuring that jobs are indeed created to the benefit of the Ghanaian youth. In this regard, most committees will be requested to conduct hearings on the extent of job creation policies and programs of the various sectors so we can enhance efforts towards job creation. Indeed, during the recess, we had the opportunity for committees to engage in field visits and engage with interest groups and governmental agencies, and we observed firsthand the impacts of the financial budget and economic policies and legislation we passed in the previous meetings of Parliament. Right Honourable Speaker, I am proud to say that so far, so excellent. The energy sector is doing very well, and electricity has remained on and powering growth. So far, so excellent. The economy is rebounding, and Ghana once again is gaining economic respectability globally. So far, so excellent. The Ghana cedi is gaining strength and stabilizing. So far, so excellent. Inflation has come down to single digit, and prices are coming down, and life is becoming affordable to the ordinary Ghanaian. So far, so excellent. We are paying our debts, and at the same time, we are not accumulating needless debts. So far, so excellent. We are spending on the right things, and within our means. We are spending, but spending wisely. So far, so excellent. Our schools are functioning well, and free HSS is well funded, and we have not experienced any disruption of the school year calendar in our constituencies during our recess. Let me repeat, our schools are functioning well, and free SHS is well funded, and we have not experienced any disruption of schools or school calendar in our constituencies. So far, so excellent. Mr. Speaker, the NHIA has paid a total of 2.84 billion Ghana cedis in claims to accredited healthcare providers across the country. This represents the most consistent payment trend since the scheme's inception. The NDC are the best implementers of social intervention schemes. As I address you, there are no arrears outstanding. Claim payments are now up to date, with reimbursements made monthly. A marked improvement from previous years when payments delayed for several months. This improvement has restored confidence among healthcare providers, stabilized service delivery, and enhanced the scheme's credibility across all regions. Additionally, the uncapping of the NHIL by His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama has released an additional 3.4 billion Ghana cedis to the NHIE, marking a historic fiscal breakthrough that secures sustainable funding for timely claims payment, expansion of coverage, and implementation of flagship reforms such as free primary health care and Mahama Cares. So far, so excellent. Mr. Speaker, the health insurance scheme is on track to reach an unprecedented 20 million active members by end of year 2025. So far, so excellent. Our hospitals and health facilities are being well funded, and Mr. Speaker, I can only say good things will happen to this country. Our metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies are very well financially lubricated, with prompt transfers of 80% of the common fund allocations. Total disbursement for the first quarter of 2025 was 711,334,852 Ghana cedis and 56 pesos. That's the first quarter. Second quarter 2025 disbursement was also completed on 21st August 2025, and this was 1,318,484,908 Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, these disbursements are boosting local economies, as procurements which must be done at that level are being done to create local jobs and opportunities. So far, so excellent. Many progressive initiatives we approved in this House in the last meetings have been launched on course and are on course. Notably, the big push in road infrastructure is on course. So far, so excellent. Mr. Speaker, Info Analytics did some polls released on July 1st, 2025, and they revealed that 70% of Ghanaians believe the country is on the right track. 70% of Ghanaians believe the country is on the right track. So far, so excellent. As of September 2025, Global Info Analytics Survey found 58% believed the government was doing enough to fight against corruption, and 53% said corruption had improved. So far, so excellent. A similar report of Info Analytics in 2024 revealed that 65% of Ghanaians believe that the country was heading in a wrong direction. There is a clear turnaround in how Ghanaians perceive their country and their government now. We must stay the course in this direction, and the work of this meeting of Parliament must keep the pressure on our executive arm of government to keep delivering. In this regard, I want to assure Ghanaians that the overwhelming NDC majority will not treat our counterparts in the executive with kid gloves. We will continue to demand performance and delivery of promises made in our manifesto. Bipartisanship shall be our hallmark, so we will tolerate our minuscule minority and heed sound and genuine criticism. Mr. Speaker, this is a budget meeting. We will be receiving the 2026 budget statement in due course, but the signs of a very positive development are already clear. 95% of Ghanaians in a survey conducted by professional service firm PwC in July 2025 believe the country's macroeconomic performance in the first half of the year has met or exceeded expectations. 95% of Ghanaians believe that our macroeconomic performance, yes, our macroeconomic performance has met or exceeded expectations. Indeed, even members of the MPP cannot deny the fact that the indicators are looking very, very good. So far, so excellent. Mr. Speaker, we in the NDC are governing well. The president of Imani, Franklin Kujo, on July 5th, 2025, strongly endorsed President John Dramani Mahamed's recent decision to scrap fuel allowances and allocations for all political appointees, describing it as a wonderful initiative. So many wonderful initiatives that should be codified into law to prevent future reversals. So far, so excellent. On October 10th, 2025, the IMF stated that Ghana's economy is rebounding faster than anticipated, with macroeconomic stabilization taking root following a strong performance in the first half of 2025, underpinned by strong services activity, agricultural output, and others. So far, so excellent. The IMF has also lauded Ghana on recent stabilization of the cedi, noting that the development signals improvement in the country's economic fundamentals, renewed policy credibility, and investor confidence. So far, so excellent. On May 7, 2025, Bloomberg rated the Ghana cedi as the best performing currency in the second quarter. Bloomberg rated the Ghana cedi as the best performing currency in the second quarter. So far, so excellent. The positive endorsement of policies and programs this House approved keep coming locally and internationally. During a high-level meeting in Washington, D.C., the African Development Bank President, Dr. Sidi Uta, described the gold board under the new President John Dramani Mahama-led administration as a timely innovation that aligns with the African Development Bank's efforts to promote responsible resource management and fiscal sustainability. So far, so excellent. The economist, chartered accountant, and banker, Dr. Akwesi Ajiman, in his mid-year economic review of 2025, stated that Ghana's political reset in 2025 has coincided with an unmistakable economic rebound. Inflation is easing, the Ghana cedi has steadied, business activity is picking up, and this grants the new administration its first real chance to rewrite the country's stop-start growth story. Mr. Speaker, to cap it all, Mr. Speaker, we are going to the World Cup in America. So far, so excellent. So much has been achieved so far within a short time, but a lot remains to be done. We are not out of the woods yet, and many things must change. Recently, we placed senior high school students. The lobby to get into grade A schools reveals a malaise that must be fixed in our educational sector. There must be no grade A school and no grade B schools. We spend equally on all teachers in all schools. We in this parliament must do whatever it takes to fix all schools and demand equal performance. We pay equally to all schools. This House must begin to demand accountability and the greatest standards of performance from all our services, education service, health service, judicial service, and all the public services of Ghana. Reforming attitudes there must engage our attention. The reset agenda must permeate our public services. Mr. Speaker, the story of Ghana is now being told in a positive light on all international platforms. The reset agenda of President John Dramani Mahama and the NDC party is on course. This House will sustain the agenda in this meeting. We will demand accountability for past acts of corruption and abuse of power and gross mismanagement of the economy. We will demand the full implementation of the report of Operation Recover or Loot. Right, Honourable Speaker, my team has engaged the various sector ministers with a view to understand the weight of government business to be brought before us during this meeting. If they all receive the expected cabinet approvals, we could have a heavy legislative program in addition to the usual very involving consideration of the national budget. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Health has planned to seek approval for some legislation, including regulations, the National Health Insurance Regulations, National Vaccine Institute Regulation, Ghana Medical Trust Fund Regulation, Allied Health Professional Council Regulations, and others. The Minister of Education will seek the passage of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, change of university names. Mr. Speaker, there's been a cabinet directive to change the names of all the universities that were changed to individuals back to the names that they were given. A bill will be brought to this House to change and reverse all the changes of the names of the universities. Mr. Speaker, the ministry will also seek this House approval for the passage of the Ghana Book Development Council Bill, the University of Engineering and Agricultural Science Bonsu Bill, College of Education Amendment Bill, Chartered Institute of Procurement and Supply Chain Bill, the National Teaching Council Regulations, National Council for Curriculum and Assessment Regulations, National Schools Inspectorate Authority regulations, Ghana Tertiary Education Commission regulations, and others. The Ministry of Transport will seek passage of the Road Traffic Amendment Bill, the Road Traffic Amendment Regulations, Road Traffic Amendment, Ghana Shippers Authority Regulations, Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority Bill, ratification of the African Road Safety Charter, and others. The Minister of Interior will seek the expeditious passage of the Security and Intelligence Agencies Bill, the Immigration Service Amendment Regulations, Prison Service Parole Regulations, and the gaming regulations, Diaspora Birthright Certificate Bill, Community Service Bill, and the Extradition Bill. The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources will want us to ratify a number of mining leases. These will include the ratification of mining leases in respect of Pesos Mining Ghana Limited, Clean Jobs Ghana Limited, TMC Limited, GM Group of Companies Limited, Golden Star Wasa Limited, Zagog Gold Limited, Gadriato Group of Companies Limited, Maripomo Mining Services Limited, and Bari Bari DV Ghana Limited. They also program to bring before us the Wildlife Resource Management Regulations 2025. Right, Honorable Speaker, let me at this juncture mention that whilst we were away on recess, the issue of illegal mining, referred to as Galamsey, became very topical. His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama spoke to the nation in a media interaction and outlined progress made so far for the multiple approaches of government to deal with this matter. During this meeting, this House will build the needed collaboration and coalition of MPs to join the fight against Galamsey. After all, it is happening in our various constituencies and by our various constituents. We perhaps hold the key to solving this problem. In this regard, we will demand full accountability of the Minerals Commission and the Environmental Protection Agencies in the way mining prospecting licenses are awarded and leases issued and the environmental implications thereof. Right, Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has some international agreements which we will be called upon to consider for ratification. Some are the visa waiver agreements between the government of the Republic of Ghana and the Republic of Algeria, Republic of Angola, and the Republic of Serbia. Headquarters agreement between the government of the Republic of Ghana and Afrobarometer, and the presidential initiative to offer 1,000 tertiary scholarships to ECOWAS citizens, waiver of import duties and other taxes on vehicles for foreign service officers and analogous appointees, establishment and implementation of Ghana Diaspora Bond Program, and membership in the Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa Alliance. That's the BRICS Alliance. Let me mention that the issue of the need for parliamentary ratification of the agreement with the United States to receive ECOWAS citizens being repatriated back to the sub-region has been widely debated. If the appropriate legal advice to this House is that we should ratify it, we will consider so. But I can say with authority that the majority approves of the arrangement and highly commends government for negotiating the removal of the U.S. visa restrictions on Ghanaians. Given our business and social ties with America, these restrictions were going to be extremely burdensome to many Ghanaian businesses and families. The Ministry of Land, Local Government, Chieftaincy, and Religious Affairs will seek the passage of the Local Governance Amendment Bill, Coastal Development Authority Repeal Bill, Middle Belt Development Authority Repeal Bill, and the program of the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition include the ratification and passage of National Petroleum Authority Bill, ratification of petroleum agreements in respect of Block GHB01 involving the Government of Ghana, GNPC, GNPC Esploco, and TriStar Upstream Oil and Gas Limited. They will also seek the passage of the Nuclear Power Corporation Bill and then the Renewable Energy Authority Bill and the establishment of the Ghana Energy Regulatory Commission. They will also seek the passage of the West African Gas Pipeline Amendment Regulations. The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection will seek the passage of the Affirmative Action Gender Equity Regulations 2025 and the Social Protection Regulations. The Office of the Attorney General and Ministry of Justice has a tall legislative program. They include the passage of the Tribunals Bill, the Legal Education Reform Bill, the Conduct of Public Officers Bill, Economic and Organized Crime Amendment Bill, Ghana Intellectual Property Office Bill, Interstate Succession Bill, Legal Profession Bill, Notaries Public Amendment Bill, State Property and Contracts Amendment Bill, Court of Appeal Rules, Economic and Organized Crime Office Operations Regulations, Economic and Organized Crime Office Terms and Conditions of Service Regulations, High Court Civil Procedure Amendment Rules, Interpretation Regulations, Legal Aid Commission Regulations, and others. Minister of Sports and Recreation will bring the following for consideration: the Sports Fund Bill, Sports Fund Regulations, National Sports College Bill, Anti-Doping Regulations, and others. The Ministry of Defense plans to have us consider the National Defense University Bill and the Defense Industrial Development Corporation Bill. I cannot list entirely the legislative program. It promises to be weighty. I therefore urge colleagues to dedicate time and energy to the task ahead of us in this meeting. But I must mention that once again, we will have an opportunity to vet a nomination to the position of Chief Justice of Ghana. It shall definitely be a momentous occasion. Need I say that the nominee should prepare to earn the approval of this House. Right Honourable Speaker, to ensure greater efficiency, I have engaged with colleague leadership of the minuscule minority, and we have agreed that this meeting will always schedule government business before personal business. That way we will ensure that MPs come on time, we transact government business first, and then afterwards we'll move to individual statements, MPs, questions to ministers. We believe that this will even be convenient for MPs given the fact that we now have our own television channel and enjoy live coverage. This parliament has many new members. I urge you not to stop learning. Please sit in the House and observe and learn. Build your capacity to participate effectively, and do participate effectively. You can only learn by practice. Right Honourable Speaker, as usual, we count on your continued guidance. You know it all, and under your guidance, we cannot go astray. Let me congratulate you for Ghana's parliament once again being adjudged the most open parliament in Africa by the Africa Open Parliament Index. This is the second time our parliament has won this coveted award, having won it in 2022. All this bears testimony to your remarkable leadership, Mr. Speaker, and foresight in managing this noble institution. Congratulations, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I welcome you back to this House for the third meeting of the first session of the 9th Parliament. May the Almighty God direct our every step, and may the work we will do together in this meeting make Ghana great and strong. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, I'm sure you have observed a facelift in the chamber that you are now occupying. You can see there's a facelift. And I want to thank the clerk and our supporting staff for implementing this decision of the board. And you have also observed that just behind me, our traditional attire, our own hand-woven cloths, are distinguished, and you can see there have been also a renewal of those majestic cloths. I think you have read that I led a delegation, including the second Deputy Speaker and some members of staff, to at least share our condolences with the King of Ashanti, Otumfuo Osei-Tutu II, for the loss of our mother, the Queen Mother. you would have read that we did make a request, because this was the gracious presentation of His Majesty the King, when the Parliament started in January 1993. They had lost some favor, and so we appealed to him if he could graciously come and renew them, and he immediately accepted and directed that it be done. The next day, to our surprise, the team was down here in Accra, and you can see a complete, fresh renewal of those majestic cultural display of our talents. I want to take this opportunity to appreciate the efforts and the gracious support of His Excellency Otumfuo Osesei II. He has done tremendously well, and he will continue to be the father of all. And we know his passion in multi-party democracy. He has been a guide to all of us, particularly somebody like me as a Speaker of the 8th and the 9th Parliament of the 4th Republic of Ghana. Honorable members, I want just to draw your attention to the names and meaning of what you have behind me. I myself is very challenged, and so if my pronunciation offends your ears, kindly forgive me, because I'm of a different ethnic group. But these kente cloths are of two types. One is called Ejunsi Ejunso. Ejunsi Ejunso is a type of high quality hand-woven Ghanaian kente cloth that translates to designs upon designs, or wisdom upon wisdom. The second is called Fatia Fata Nkrumah. That definitely is clear to all of you, even including me. It's a Ghanaian kente cloth pattern whose name translates to Fatia is a fitting wife for Nkrumah. In fact, those of us who are old enough used to hear it. It was created to honor the marriage of Ghana's first president. In fact, we should always start by saying first Prime Minister and first President, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, and his Egyptian wife, Fatia Nkrumah. And this symbolizes the unity of Africa and the Arab world. In fact, that was one of the visible steps that Nkrumah took to try to unite the states in Africa by personally moving beyond the shores of Ghana to marry from Egypt. Honorable members, I think you will assist me, as I said, to thank His Royal Majesty for his gracious support to the House. I will, on your behalf, send a fitting thank you message to His Excellency. But let me add that the second Deputy Speaker has been so helpful in these matters. In fact, he has led me a number of times to pay homage to His Excellency, the King of Asante. And we've always had very fruitful discussions, and it's always been a source of strength and wisdom to some of us. Please kindly accept my thanks, my colleague, good brother, second Deputy Speaker, for what you are doing to us. With this, I want to invite the first Deputy Speaker to take the chair whilst I prepare for another assignment this evening. In the meantime, we move on to the next item. Which is the routine business of correction of votes and proceedings and official report. Honorable members, we'll start with the votes and proceedings of Friday, 1st August 2025. Page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, First Deputy Speaker to take the chair.
Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. Page 8. Page 9. Page 10. Page 11. Page 12. Page 13. Page 14. Page 15. Page 16. Page 17. Page 18. Page 19. Page 20. Yes, Honorable Kingsley Nyako.
Mr. Speaker, I stood up when I got to page 16. Page 16, opening, Roman numerals II and III. I'd like you to check Achim. I think it's supposed to be AKIM. So let us cross check and get the right name. II and III. Achim West is West Akim, AKIM, and III2 should be AKIM. Thank you.
Very well, thank you very much. Table office, check the spelling, whether it is Achim or Akim.
And also, Mr. Speaker, with respect, on page number 19, under one opening, the committee met on Wednesday, 25th July 2025, at 2:15 a.m. I think it's supposed to be p.m., not a.m. Thank you.
Very well. Table office, take note. Page 21. Page 22. Page 23. Page 24. Page 25. Page 26. '27. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, on page 27, Roman numeral VI, Mr. Christian Adepoku, the Registrar of the National Teaching Council, is a doctor. This is a minor correction. He is Dr. Christian Adepoku, not Mr.
Very well.
Thank you.
Table office, take note. Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Kwadaso. Page 28. '29 and 30. Honourable members, subject to the corrections, the vote and proceedings of Friday, 1st August 2025 is hereby adopted as the true records of proceedings. Honourable members, official reports. Honourable members, we have two official reports. Official reports of 28th July 2025 and 29th July 2025. Honourable members, let's consider 28th July first. It is for your corrections. Honourable members, in the absence of any correction, the official reports of 28th July 2025 is hereby adopted as the true record of proceedings. Now, official reports of 29th July 2025 under correction. Yes, Honourable Member for Kwadaso.
Mr. Speaker, on column 17, the second paragraph, last sentence, is about the name of Mohammed Polo. There is something manner, Mohammed Polo. Mohammed is spelled M-O-H-A-M-E-D. I think it should be double M. So if table office can check, and if it is double M, then they make the necessary changes. Then you come to column 179 under Reverend John Timford. There is an omission. If you look at the fourth line, that this House approves the media review the budget. The omission of has to be inserted so that it reads that this House approves the media review of the budget statement and the economic policy of the government of Ghana. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member. Table office, kindly take note. Honourable members, in the absence of any further correction, the official reports of 29 July 2025 is hereby adopted as the true record of proceedings. Honourable members, we move to item numbered 8. Business statement for the first week. Chairman of the Business Committee and the Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Your committee met yesterday, Monday, 20th October 2025, and arranged business of the House for the first week ending Friday, 24th October 2025. The Speaker, committee accordingly submits its report as follows. Formal arrangement of business includes formal communications by the Speaker. So you may read any available communication to the House. Pursuant to Order 91-2, Ministers of State may be permitted to make statements on government policy. You may also admit statements by honourable members in accordance with Order 93. Mr. Speaker, in accordance with Order 159, bills may be presented to the House for first reading. However, those of urgent nature may be taken through the various stages in a day in accordance with Order 160. Pursuant to Order 97, papers may be laid during the week, and reports from committees may also be presented to the House for consideration. Mr. Speaker, motions may be debated and there are consequential resolutions, if any, taken during the week. Mr. Speaker, the Business Committee takes the opportunity to welcome all honourable members back from the recess. The third meeting is expected to be demanding of honourable members in view of the fact that a significant part of the meeting will be devoted to the consideration of the budget statement and economic policy of government for 2026, together with the budget estimates of the ministries, departments, and agencies. The House would also consider other business requiring the considerations of Parliament, including financial bills before adjournment sine die for the yielditude. Honourable members are therefore entreated to brace themselves up for the task ahead. Mr. Speaker, the Business Committee discussed the issue of the time for the commencement of sitting of the House. And the Business Committee takes notice that the introduction of the commencement of sittings at 2 p.m. with the aim of improving members' participation in the conduct of parliamentary business has not been very successful, and we must all admit this. Additionally, commencing sitting at 2 p.m. mostly resulted in the late adjournment of the House. The attention of the Business Committee has been drawn to the health and security risks this poses to honourable members, staff, and visitors of the House, including students who commute long distance to observe proceedings. In view of this, the Business Committee proposes that the House reverts to commencing sittings at 10 a.m. subject to review when needed. Mr. Speaker, in accordance with Order 2162 and subject to Order 67, the committee submits to the House the order in which the business of the House shall be taken during the week. Thank you.
Honourable members, business statement duly presented by the Chairman of the Business Committee and the Leader of the House. It is now for your comment. Yes, Honourable Kinsley Nyako.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to commend highly the Business Committee for this statement for the week. In particular, regarding the reversal of our sitting commencement from 2 p.m. to 10 a.m. I think this is commendable because of the health implications that our leader cleverly alluded to. But I would like to also suggests that we need to pay fidelity to the time. When it is 10 a.m., Mr. Speaker, with respect, it should be 10 a.m. It should be 10 a.m. 10 a.m., you come to the chamber and sitting starts at 12 or 11. And I don't think this is fair. So if we are going back to 10, we must be punctual regarding the time. Or if the 10 is going to be difficult, then in between 10 and 2 p.m., 12 noon, for me, should be also considered. But I prefer the 10. And I'm hoping that we should be able to stick with the time. Mr. Speaker, if you look at our orders, Order 12.4, whenever the Speaker, the first Deputy Speaker, the second Deputy Speaker are unavoidably absent, the clerk shall chair the sitting for the election of a member to preside at the sitting of the House as the member presiding. I think one of these orders talk about where a member can be elected to sit in the chair. So I'm saying that if, Mr. Speaker, your good self or the second Deputy Speaker are not there, we should be able to elect somebody to sit in the chair for us to respect the time. That's all that I'm asking for. The Speaker,
are you suggesting that the delay is as a result of either the first Speaker, the first Deputy, and the second Deputy
the Speaker,
not being available?
The Speaker, I cannot, with any stretch of imagination, suggest that. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that for us to start business, somebody must be in the chair. If there's nobody in the chair, business for the day cannot start. So if we are 2 or 3 or 4, and nobody raises a matter of quorum, sitting can start. So I think that it is the speakers who can help us to respect the new time set to 10. This is what I'm asking for the Speaker, and thanks for indulging me.
Thank you very much. But let me also place on record that mostly we are here, but members are not available.
You are right. I can't dispute that. Thank you.
Yes. Yes, Honorable Habib.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to find out from the chairman of the Business Committee. Mr. Speaker had admitted my motion of review on the form in which the business or the budget will be presented to the House. As we are aware, initially, the minister responsible for finance, his first budget statement was in the form of a statement, and I raised issues as to the form in which it will be presented. Subsequently, the mid-year budget, he came through a motion. So it is not captured on the business statement, and I think that this is very important, considering the fact that this is a business.
Look at item number 2D on the business statement.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I 2D, Mr. Speaker, the Speaker's motion may be debated, and there are some substantial resolutions if taken. Mr. Speaker, I don't know, because there are a couple of motions that I know. I know that they're able...
So it means that the motions that are going to be taken within the week are not listed here. So by the application of a Jusdem Generis, if yours is a motion, it can be taken under this item. Don't you agree with me?
Mr. Speaker, I'm guided, and if that is the case, I will rest that matter for now. And
Very
then
well.
The second thing is that the reason the business committee is giving us based on the change of time of sitting, I think it's a bit problematic, because there was reasons why we said we should sit at 2. And among many other was the fact that we have ministers and deputy ministers and other people who have government engagement, so that from morning until 2 o'clock, they'll be able to do their official work, and then they can attend to their house by 2 p.m. If it is the case that we want to change it to 9 a.m., I don't think it will cure the problem that we identified earlier on. Our standing orders have made it clear that normally sitting should be 5 hours. And if we are going to sit more than 5 hours, then the speaker can give that directive. So if we can manage our time based on the business that the majority has, and then they can prioritize the business that they are able to do, the timing will not be a problem. But I still think that the reason the chairman of the business committee had given is something that will not stand the test of time. Because if we don't, like Professor rightly said, if we don't start exactly 10 o'clock, we will definitely run into the evening. And we in the minority will not take excuses, chairman of the business committee, majority leader, that we are starting 10 because your ministers are not here. They are in the ministry. Your deputy ministers are not here. They are in the ministry. They are attending to government work and other things. That we have made provisions for. If we are starting at 10 and we agree, we will not take excuses as to why ministers are not in the chamber to attend to either questions or business. So I think we need to look at it properly. And if we can, if it is the case that it's always going to be 10, or if we are to vary it based on the kind of work that we have in the chamber, then we will be guided by that. But I think that the change of time will not cure any problem. It would rather cause problem for you, majority leader, because many of your ministers might not be in the chamber by then. By 2 o'clock, we could see that many of them do attend when we give them the 2 o'clock time. So I think that we should look at it properly. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yes, I did raise the motion.
Very well. Yes, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I also want to commend the Business Committee for putting out this statement, except that I observed that there was no questions programmed for the week and list of questions programmed for the week. I remember that I had 3 questions for the Minister for Roads and Highways, bordering on some very urgent roads that were ongoing but are stored in Deu, Abonsen, Asseso, and then Asasioko area. And looking at our place, it's began raining. And this is the time that we have our festivals. But I could see that there was no questions program. This has already been filed, so if the business committee could look at it. Again, Mr. Speaker, I want to commend you and the staff and the team management for this beautiful work done. However, if you go to our offices, you can see that especially on the 11th, 8th floor west area, a lot of the ACs are not working. So I thought that while this good work had been done here, we could have extended it to the offices before coming. So, Mr. Speaker, these are a few things that I want the business committee to note. Thank you very much.
Yes. Chairman of the committee. Chairman of the committee.
Right Honourable Speaker, the issue of ministers making themselves available will be addressed once ministers are certain that when they come to the House at 10, government business will shortly be taken. Very often, a minister has business. He comes or she comes to the House, and then we start with statements. The minister will not know exactly when the statements will be over, because it will be subject to the contributions that members may make and the discretion of the speaker. And then question time. We start a question, follow-up questions. Some ministers provide very lengthy answers. And so when you have government business, ministers cannot really plan. They can come and then they spend the whole day here. So very often they decide to sit in their offices, and then when we are ready, we should call them to come over. So the discussion at business committee was to create certainty so that ministers know that when we start sitting, the first item will be government business. So that business will be dealt with, and then they can go, and we can remain and take our personal business. If the personal business has to do with that minister, then the minister has to stay, because members asking questions are personal businesses. But if the question is asked to you as a minister, you have to be here to answer that question. So you must be here. And statements are personal businesses. But when we have a bill and when we have agreements to approve, when we have loan transactions to approve, and etc., those are government business. And in those cases, we often have to vote. And the MPs also complain that when they come, so many questions are being asked, follow-up questions, and then statements are being made. And if the person really has no interest in the question or even the content of the statement, they have to sit through and never know exactly when government business will be taken so that their votes will be required. So very often they step out and then they never come back, or they decide that they're going to go sit in their offices and watch us on television, and when it's time for government business and their votes will be needed before they come. So we consider that. But let's not also forget that because we're sitting in the afternoons, very often by 10 p.m. we're still in this chamber. 11 p.m. we're still in this chamber. Sometimes we left, at midnight. I'm not saying that when we started at 10, we never closed at midnight. But usually those were rare occasions towards the end of proceedings. But when we started sitting at 2, it became, constant and habitual that we will leave here after 10 p.m. And most people's private routines don't start in the afternoon. Whether Parliament is starting at 10 or starting at 2 p.m., people will have to send children to school early in the morning, so they will wake up early in the morning anyway. And yet, they will also come to Parliament and sit and close at 10, 11, 12 midnight. So it was beginning to really take a toll on the health of members. And so it was even difficult to keep them in the chamber. So at Business Committee, we considered all that and decided that we should revert to the 10 a.m. Meetings. The issue of the practice is that first week, questions are not programmed. So subsequent weeks, questions will be programmed. And the ACs, yes, we have taken note of the ACs. And I think that there are procurement issues that are being addressed. I've been briefed by the Chief Whip and the clerk. And so they are expediting the procurement processes so that they can fix the ACs, and also the lifts. Some of the lifts are also not working well, and some have been repaired. In fact, all of them were down, but just before the resumption, some have been fixed. Others are still being fixed. And the Speaker has briefed me that indeed there's a program to replace the lifts, so that, because the pressure on the lift is too much, so we need stronger lifts. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Minority Leader.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the Leader of the House for taking us through the Business Committee's report for the ensuing week. There are some few observations I want to put across. So, Speaker, one, on the listed business of members, questions and motions. So, Speaker, we have a backlog of questions. I would plead with Leader of Government Business to work closely with the clerk at table to program the ministers to come. And to our dear ministers, they should prioritize Parliament, because some of the last-minute excuses affect members. So, Mr. Speaker, if this week we are not going to have them in, I would plead that the necessary correspondence should get to their desk for them to start coming to answer questions next week. Then, Mr. Speaker, on motions, we have this important motion that I moved. Mr. Speaker, It was seconded and debates commenced. It took us over 7 weeks. We couldn't take the motion on the mass dismissal. The need for Parliament to invite the Chief of Staff to provide guidance. Yes, that is the motion. It's not, it's a matter of record. Because, Mr. Speaker, the burden of that motion really is whether or not the Chief of Staff can, by an administrative directive, instruct chief executives of state-owned institutions to terminate contracts of their employees. They are not part of the mainstream public service. The fact that the state has majority shares in an enterprise does not give unfettered powers to government to, as it were, direct termination of employment. Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Minority Leader, respectfully, is your concern not addressed by item numbered 2D? My view is that it is here. There are motions and resolutions. Mr. Speaker, motions may be debated and there are consequential resolutions, if any, taken during the week. And it is the order paper that will specify the motions that are supposed to be taken. So for the purposes of the business statement.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for the guidance. We always learn at your feet. Mr. Speaker, the mainstay of my submission really is the fact that this is general. I am only appealing to the leader of government business to ensure that we don't just make general provisions, but then we should ensure that the item or the subject matter appears on the order paper. That is the burden of my call.
Okay.
Yes, so I agree with you on that score. And I'm taking the opportunity to further reiterate the fact that, Mr. Speaker, these are human rights issues. These are human rights issues. Many Ghanaian youths who were employed 2 years, 3 years, the petitions are all before us. And because of that omnibus directive, Maritime Authority, Ghana Road Fund, GRA, Ghana Gas. Mr. Speaker, all these employees were sacked. The only place guaranteed by the Constitution for their views, their concerns to be heard is the People's Chamber, Parliament. Yes, the court is there. But where the people's representative would have to speak for them.
Leader, under the rules, it appears you are arguing your
Very well,
motion.
Mr. Speaker, I will rest my case. Mr. Speaker, I will rest my case. I just needed to bring that to the attention of the House. My last point, Mr. Speaker, the majority leader in his opening remarks underscored an important point, that the one who has been nominated for Chief Justice position must come prepared to earn the approval of the House. No, because it's a program. He says it should come prepared. I am not speaking in respect of that matter specifically, but to all nominees who will be appearing before us should take a cue from the majority leader. If you come unprepared, you don't have your judgment, we have questions about your involvement in your boss's sacking, we have concerns about how you have behaved and all, you answer. You have to prepare. And I agree with the call by the majority leader that the person must come prepared. That is his call. So I'm just drawing his attention that it's not enough, but they should know, because we are not going to sit idly by. Already there are constitutional issues, whether or not Tokonu being in court, another person can be nominated. It's a matter of constitutional concern. But Mr. Speaker, this is not the time for it. This is not the time for it. This is not the time for it.
Honorable
the time
Minority
will come
Leader,
for a full debate on this.
it is now for you to comment on the business statement.
Very well.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I rest my case. I was just
Thank
drawing
you
his
very
attention.
much. Yes, Chairman of the Business Committee.
Thank you very much. I just want to assure the Minority Leader that we will make sure that when questions are asked, ministers are notified and they appear in the House to answer those questions. And on the issues of the pending motions and the issue of the dismissals of some employees of some state institutions or state-owned agencies, I also want to draw the attention of the Minority Leader to a recent video clip of his at a campaign rally where he was boasting of how, whilst in office as an MPP government, they used their office to improperly recruit people into all sorts of agencies, including the security agencies. He clearly indicated that the MPP in government abused his office, appointees abused their office, and they recruited not going through the proper recruitment channels and filled vacancies with party faithfuls. And they were daring the NDC. They were daring the NDC to see if the NDC will also be able to fill those public offices with their party faithfuls. By those statements, you had justified the decision to dismiss those people. You had authenticated the claim that whilst in office, you improperly, unconstitutionally, illegally, and inconsistent with constitutional requirements, recruited people and placed them in office when you shouldn't have done so. So you cannot be making those statements at rallies and then come to this chamber and say that we should investigate those recruitments and the dismissals. If you want us to carry out an inquiry, we will be inquiring and investigating your statement, because you are actually admitting crimes. You were publicly admitting the commission of crimes in relation to recruitment, especially to security agencies. And you come to this chamber and say we should investigate the removal of some people from offices. It won't happen here. It will never happen. Mr. Speaker, it won't happen because you have actually justified the decisions. You have justified the decisions. What you said at the rally is a very serious matter, coming from the opposition leader. Other people are actually calling on us in the NDC that then we should probe all the recruitments that took place, because you have publicly indicated that once in office, you use your office to staff public agencies with party faithfuls. How did you do that? And you are trying to create problems for the NDC administration and trying to trap us to behave like your government. We will not behave like you. We will not behave like you, because Ghanaians rejected you overwhelmingly for behaving that way. We don't want to be rejected by Ghanaians, so we will not follow your footsteps. We will not be enticed by your statements. You should be apologizing to Ghanaians for what you did. Mr. Speaker, on that note, let me assure members. Mr. Speaker, on the issue of the vetting, yes, I stated that and I meant it. This side of the House, even though we have an overwhelming majority and we can approve anybody nominated by the President, who is at the presidency on our ticket, we are serving notice that we are committed to doing a diligent job. And so anybody appearing before this House will be properly scrutinized, and the person should earn their nomination and the approval of this House. So that we are committed to. Mr. Speaker, I thank you very much.
Honourable Minority Leader on the business statement.
Mr. Speaker, the Majority Leader at the dispatch box made some statements that have gone into Hansard. And since I'm right here, it is important to set the record straight and put the appropriate facts out. Mr. Speaker, it is a fact that upon the assumption of the office of the MDC, I did say that the many youths who supported them should expect to be employed. It's a fact, I said so. I also said, no, I've not spoken on these things 2 weeks ago. I spoke in January. And I said that during MPP's time, the youth of our country were employed. I would want the Majority Leader to bring their speech. What the people expect from you is give them jobs. You, the majority, you promise them 1 job, 3 shifts. So if you come here and say that, oh, I was talking about matters that involve criminality, I think perhaps you didn't pay attention to the tape. Unless you did, but you want to spin it. Which on this occasion, I believe you meant to spin. And you were spinning. Mr. Speaker, the issue of mass dismissal is of grave concern to all of us. So, Majority Leader, please deal with it. But if you now say that I said some people were employed under NDC, even if they were MPP, are they not Ghanaians? And if you are going to investigate people who have been recruited in a particular era, and you want to do it, go and investigate and sack all of them. If that is what you want to do, go and do it. Nobody stops you. If you want to sack them, sack them. We don't have a problem. Sack them. I have not made the statement in the context that you described for Hansard. And you know that. You are a lawyer. And you know that. You were being a spin doctor on that. What you should be concerned about is the many youth from your various constituencies, 188 plus. Your people are asking, where are the jobs? Where are the jobs? Where are the jobs? Your people want you to get them jobs. The MPs in this chamber, you have pressure on you, all of you, the majority side. They bring their CVs. They bring their CVs to you. Especially the MPs without portfolios.
Minority Leader.
There's so much pressure on you. So, Mr. Speaker, I think we should focus on the issue rather than trivializing. I rest my case.
Thank you. Yes, Chief Whip.
Speaker, the matter before us is a subject of Order 71, Mr. Speaker. And the protocol is that, please, Mr. Speaker, under Order 71, the protocol is that when the business statement is presented and members raise matters arising out of the business statement, the chairman of the business committee responds. But Mr. Speaker, what the minority leader is doing is neither a question nor a supplementary question to the answers my leader has provided. You are just going to town. So, Mr. Speaker, I seek your guidance in this matter. So, if you want to ask the question, then my leader will respond. So, ask your questions. Frame your questions.
Honourable members, I think I need not give any guidance in this matter. We are all clear as to what we should do when a business statement are presented. But sometimes some members will go overboard. Honourable members, subject to further deliberations on the time of commencement of sitting, hoping that leadership would engage, the business statement is hereby adopted. I have one statement here. So, honourable members' statement. Honourable members, I understand the statement has not been uploaded, so maybe we'll take it tomorrow. Yes, Majority Leader, any indication?
Mr. Speaker, if we could just, are they ready? Statements. Mr. Speaker, I think we can take item number 10. We can just lay the reports and then we can take an adjournment.
At commencement of public business, presentation of papers. Item numbered 10I by the Majority Leader.
Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Public Interest and Accountability Committee for the year 2024.
Honourable members, the statement has been duly presented and it is referred to the Finance Committee for consideration and reports. Item numbered 10II.
Annual statement by the Annual report of the Public Interest and Accountability Committee on the management and use of petroleum revenues for the period January to December 2024.
Honourable members, report duly presented and it is referred to the Finance Committee for consideration and reports. Item numbered 10II.
Report of the National Population Council Secretariat on the 58th session of the Commission on Population and Development held in April 2025 in New York.
Honourable members, the report has been duly presented and it is referred to the Committee on Economy and Development for consideration and reports. Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move for an adjournment.
Yes, Honourable Habib.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion, except that I want to draw the Majority Leader attention that when he was delivering his speech, he said their majority is overwhelming. But you are less than 30 in the chamber. Empty seats, too many empty seats. And today, no government business. Your members are not in the chamber. Chief Whip, you have 189. The trust the Ghanaian people gave to you is not to give us empty chamber. So please, Mr. Speaker, so I second the motion, but they are not prepared for today's business, so we can adjourn.
Yes, Majority Leader. In the circumstances, are we adjourning to 10 o'clock or 2 o'clock? You see, the business statement is adopted subject to further deliberation. So the status quo must remain until the conclusion of the deliberation. Yes, yes. Honourable members, yes?
Mr. Speaker, for the record,
yes,
we're coming back 2 p.m. tomorrow, God willing?
I will say so.
Very well.
Honourable members, motion moved and seconded, and it is for the consideration of the House. As many as are in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The motion is carried. The House is accordingly adjourned till Wednesday, 22nd day of October 2025 at 2 o'clock afternoon.